morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Thompson, and I am Chair of the Maryland Transportation Authority Board. Today is Thursday, July 30th, 2026, and I hereby call the meeting of the MDTA Board to order at 9 a.m. This morning, we are having our meeting in person at MDTA headquarters, and in accordance with the live streaming law, this meeting is being live streamed on the MDTA Board webpage. I would like to say welcome to everyone joining us this morning. For the record, members Carol, Cordova, and Weishi are joining us via conference call. As a reminder, I ask that anyone who is in the room with us this morning to refrain from speaking unless you are presenting or answering a question to avoid background noise on the live stream. I would also like to ask the members to speak loudly and clearly so that those in the back of the room are able to hear you. Please also say your name when motioning or seconding to help with the meeting minutes. For those of you watching this meeting via live stream, we have posted the materials for today's meeting on the MDTA Board webpage so that you can follow along if you would like to do so. No elected officials, media, or members of the public have pre-registered to comment at today's meeting. With that, we will now begin today's agenda. Item 1 on the agenda is to approve the session meeting minutes of June 25th, 2026.
Move for approval, Member Cox.
Second, Member Von Paris.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries. Moving to agenda item 2, closed session meeting minutes of June 25th, 2026. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved, Member Rosen.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Member Ardinger, I will second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries. Item 3 on the agenda is approval of the Code of Maryland Regulations, and for that, we'll turn it over to Bradley Ryan. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Chair, board members. I'm Brad Ryan, Manager of Government Affairs, here today seeking approval to proceed with changes to the Code of Maryland Regulations to align current COMAR with House Bill 246 from this year's session of the Maryland General Assembly. House Bill 246 was an MDOT departmental bill that permits MDTA to toll the registered owner of a Class G vehicle trailer if the license plate image of the motor vehicle cannot be captured or the registered owner cannot be determined from the image. The bill was signed into law on May 12th and takes effect on January 1 of next year. As for the specific COMAR changes, in Regulation Section 02, definitions, Class G vehicle is defined using the current definition in statute, which includes all trailers and semi-trailers that you see on the road. In Regulation Section 06, toll collection by recorded image, the regulations conform with House Bill 246 by allowing a Class G vehicle to be tolled, but only if the license plate image of the motor vehicle cannot be captured or the registered owner cannot be determined from the image. Also, for your awareness, it should be noted that a comprehensive communications plan is being put together to educate the public. Specifically, we continue to engage with MDTA, and they have agreed to assist in making their members aware of this change. Staff recommendation is for board approval to proceed with COMAR changes to align with House Bill 246. And with that, I would be happy to entertain any questions.
Any questions? Anyone on the line have questions? Okay.
No, I don't.
No questions.
Thank you.
No.
Do we have a motion to approve the changes to COMAR regulations?
Move for approval, Member Cox.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Member Sneed, second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you.
Item 4 on the agenda is approval of contract awards. We've got 2 here, and we will turn to Jeffrey Davis.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, my name is Jeff Davis with the Division of Procurement here at the MDTA. And I have two actually unique contracts for you today. So I will read the summary and then maybe give some background information on what makes each one unique. So the first one is contract number MT00211-657, Emergency Snow Removal. This is to seek approval from the board to execute this contract. This contract pertains to emergency snow removal services incurred from January 24th through January 31st, 2026. The contract includes services for employee supervision, supplies, labor, and equipment. These services were provided at MDTA's I-95 Express toll lanes, which is critical infrastructure that supports travel mobility along the I-95, I-895, and I-695 corridors in and around the Baltimore metropolitan areas. The services were provided during Winter Storm Fern, a declared state of emergency. So if you look at the attached summary page, you'll see there was a single firm listed, Allen Myers. Allen Myers was called by our operations team to come out and begin emergency removal of the weather on the express toll lanes. As it was a state of emergency and as it is being processed as an emergency contract, the work has already been completed. What we're doing here is we are formalizing the agreement so that we can get BPW approval to then pay the vendor for the services provided. Are there any questions?
Any questions on this proposed contract? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve? Thank you. Thank you. Do we have a second?
Member Sneed, second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries.
Thank you so much. So this next contract, for those of you in your packets, you will see a scope of services here. But I think the most salient information with this one, so contract AE 3162 is for the Key Bridge rebuild final design and design services during construction. This is a single source contract to maintain continuity of the design from the KB 4903 contract with Kiewit. So what we are doing is we are engaging major subs that were under that design, under that contract that did the design work so that we can maintain continuity and get signed stamped drawings without having to redesign anything or go through a lengthy design review stage with what will be the upcoming new design builder. This will require BPW approval because it is an A&E contract, not the single source nature of it. But I wanted to make sure that information was clear, and I didn't want to bog you down with, the services that would be provided under it, because it would be very similar to the services that were already done and designed during the contract with Kiewit. The firm is a joint venture of ARUP and SIBT, and the contract estimated amount is $95 million. One thing to note, because of the interim final rule related to DBE, this contract will require federal highway compliance, but it will not have a DBE participation goal.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Davis? All right, do we have a motion to approve this contract?
Member Sneed, motions to approve.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second, Member Rosen.
Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries and the contract is approved. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you so much.
Item 5 on the agenda is a request to approve contract modification for the Key Bridge Rebuild Progressive Design Contract Modification 4. So Brian Wolf and Jim Harkness.
Good morning, members. For the record, my name is Brian Wolf. I am Director of Project Development in the Office of Engineering and Construction. I'm here this morning to request approval for additional funding for early work packages as part of the Key Bridge rebuild. You may recall in May of last year, the board approved our first modification, which allowed us to issue the early work packages, and it also authorized us for funding for those packages. We received additional authorizations in November of last year and again in January of this year. Those authorized funds have allowed us to progress critical path work on the project and maintain the schedule. And we've done that through measured approvals with those early work packages. That's only after the MDTA staff and our GEC team have reviewed those cost estimates for that work to make sure that they're reasonable and in line with our independent cost estimates. And then we all recall in April, we off-ramped the Progressive Design Build team. And in doing so, we recognized that we needed to obtain additional funding to conclude the work that they had started, which is the pile driving at the main pylons and the associated vessel protection system, as well as to demobilize the contract. This pile driving work corresponds with the early work package number 8, which was the original pile driving work that we started last year. This will complete all of that pile driving at the 2 foundations. And this is necessary to provide us with a clean stopping point between this contract ending and the beginning of the new contracts that will be coming on board in the future. This additional funding will also accommodate demobilizing the Progressive Design Builders equipment and materials from the project site and allow it to be prepared for, again, the next contracts coming online. This funding also will provide us with funding for additional pile splicing and lengthening of piles that we have implemented with the current Progressive Design Build team to account for variations in the geotechnical, the soil properties and the geotechnical conditions on the site. We've made some adjustments to the current pile driving, and this additional funding will allow us to continue with those adjustments. We're seeking approval for $125 million to fund these early work packages. We're seeking board approval for this modification.
Discussion? Yes, please.
Thank you. So can you give us a breakdown? So two things are included in this early work package. That's the demobilization and then the additional 100 piles. Is that complete? Is that correct?
It's actually 3 items.
Okay.
It's the additional 100 piles to complete the foundations and the vessel protection systems at Piers 24 and 25. It also includes costs for demobilizing all of the associated equipment from the Progressive Design Build team. And then it includes, thirdly, some additional pile splicing and lengthening of the piles that we're doing at the fabricator before they come on site. It is cheaper and more efficient to lengthen the piles at the fabricator rather than bring the piles up to the project site and then have to splice them in the field. It's a more expensive and time-consuming process to do the splicing operation, so we adjusted the pile lengths.
Okay. Can you give us the breakdown between those 3?
Yeah, so there's the demobilization was around 25 million. The additional piles, the 100 piles, was 63.5 million. And then the remaining amount was to account for the pile splicing and the lengthening.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Okay, so I just want to understand. So the demobilization, that's a given, that we understand that. The other two items, would you say that those two items are in addition to what we initially thought of that the building of the bridge was going to cost? Is this in addition?
I'll try to answer that. So the 100 pile is one of these results of the off-ramp. So we were coming before you asking for authorizations on funding that would enable us to advance the critical path schedule, but not overcommit until we were able to come to our binding price proposal and the agreement for phase two. So that we kind of incrementally came before you asking for those funding authorizations. And so this is one of those where we intentionally held this back with the intent of having it in the phase two price and schedule. And so when the off-ramp decision happened, that now moved that from phase two pricing into this early work package pricing. So it's just, it was anticipated funds, it's just earlier and in a different package than we initially conceived of it.
So timing difference? Can we put it in that classification? We were always going to have to purchase these 100.
Yeah, and just to be clear, in the table, you'll see early work package 8 allowed us to purchase them. So we did the purchase, and that guy bought the steel, it bought them fabricated and being barged up here. So those costs were already incurred. Now this piece is just the install of those, so paying separately for the installation of those. And you can see we did that with the initial 138 that we ordered. We ordered the material, and then we came and then we separately authorized the install, and so we repeated that process with the balance, the 100, and so that's really just the balance of it. And so to us, it makes sense to do it now because Kiewit is mobilized. They have all that equipment already on site. They've been doing that work. If we didn't do this install with them, then we would be asking another contractor to remobilize that nearly the same exact equipment and perform that activity later, and then it would have an impact on that schedule for the new design build team.
I'm sorry, I'll ask one more question. I just want to, so once the pile driving is complete, is that when Kiewit is off the job? Is that their last item?
Right, so they're wrapping up work on the work platform, the temporary trestle, and that work is anticipated to conclude first. This would be the last item of work that they would need to complete on the project, and that would wrap them up, and then that's when those demobilization costs would be incurred, and we would pay those out through these funds.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Yes.
Madam Chair, this is Member Von Paris. I do have a question. First of all, I want to say good morning to both of you, and I know you're doing an amazing job. I guess I want to understand, and maybe we all want to understand, why the geotechnical work done in the early stages of the design did not identify the need for the longer piles. That's my question.
So the geotechnical work, the soil boring program that we implemented, the piled load test program that we implemented, it informed the engineering design of the foundations. It established those initial pile lengths. What we're seeing with the differences now is that the size of piles that we're dealing with and the demands that we're requiring those piles to handle is what's driving the length difference now. These soils are variable. There's lenses within the Patapsco layer, which is the foundation layer that we're driving these piles to. There's various lenses of material, clays, sands, and they just vary back and forth. The size of pile that we're dealing with, they result in variability just given the sheer size of them. And we've been working in coordination with the Progressive Design Builder, and Federal Highway Administration has been involved with their assistance on the geotechnical side, trying to get these to the right length. And that's why you're seeing that we're asking for some splicing and the lengthening of the piles. We determined that getting slightly longer piles was making sense from the geotechnical standpoint. The original assumptions that were used from the soil program and the test piles, we're just seeing that these large piles and the large loads that we're putting on them are just requiring them to be a little longer than we had anticipated based on the calculations that were run at the time.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Has the federal government been, the Federal Highway Administration been involved in the process as far as the lengthening of the pile drive?
They have. We have what's called a specially designated project oversight manager who sits in on our meetings. He has an office at our project's office. He attends our meetings. He's been engaged. We have further engaged Federal Highway Administration's geotechnical engineer to help work through some of this back and forth that we've had with the design team and the progressive design builder to find an economical solution for the situation. So we've leveraged his experience from other projects like the Woodrow Wilson Bridge years ago, leveraging that experience to try to, I'll call it, right-size the piles.
Thank you, Mary. Member Chair.
Any questions from the members joining us on phone?
This is Member Carroll. I do have one question.
Oh, Member Carroll, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. With respect to the demobilization cost, I just want to get an understanding of if that's industry standard for the client to pick up those costs when a project is demobilized or decommissioned like this has been.
Yes, that is correct. It is standard industry. Typically, we wouldn't necessarily see it as a line item. It would be normally distributed throughout other items in a project, but given the size and the scope of this project, there's a demobilization that we have to address because of the off-ramp.
Okay, thank you.
And Member Cordova, it sounded like you had a question or comment.
No comments, thank you, not for me.
Okay, anyone?
Thank you.
Yes, please.
This question, what's going to be the timing for this to consummate the work and ultimately finalize the off-ramp process? So basically, when are we going to spend $125 million?
So we're anticipating the pile driving to wrap up in March of next year, at which point the demobilization would begin for Kiewit. As Jim mentioned, the trestle work should be completed later this year, and so that effort would probably see some demobilization occurring there for that work, but the pile driving will wrap up in around March timeframe.
And how long will the demobilization take? Yeah.
Probably anticipate several weeks. It's several barges, the large barge mounted cranes, those need to be broken down to some extent and then moved out. So it'll be several weeks of demobilization to get all that equipment out of the river.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the contract modification?
Members need motions to approve contract modification.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Member Ardinger, I will second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries for the contract modification. Thank you both. We will move to item 6, which is legislative report submitted to the legislature. And I think we stay with Brian Wolf. Thank you.
Again, for the record, my name is Brian Wolf. I'm Director of Project Development for Office of Engineering and Construction. Here to provide an update on the Joint Chairman's report. During the 2026 legislative session, MDTA was requested to continue preparing the Joint Chairman reports on the Key Bridge rebuild effort. You'll recall during the 2025 session, we were requested to do quarterly updates. For this cycle, we are doing semi-annual, so there'll be two joint chairman reports. One was formally submitted on July 1 of this year. The second report will be due January 1 of 2027. And the reporting is essentially a continuation of how we reported previously: status of engineering, construction, any permitting and coordination issues, as well as coordination with state and federal agencies, and information pertaining to expenditures and federal funding. Excuse me. As I mentioned, the report was submitted on July 1, and I'll take any questions there may be on the report.
Thank you. Any questions or comments or discussion? Hearing none, thank you very much for the report. Item 7 on the agenda is the annual update on MDTA travel plazas, and we'll turn to Simon Najjar.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For the record, my name is Simon Najjar. I'm the Maryland Travel Plaza Administrator, and I'm here to present to you my annual review of the operations of the Maryland Travel Plaza for last year. Before I continue, for the benefit of our new chair and our new members, I'd like to kind of present some background information about the travel plaza, why we have them in the first place. They were established to provide a clean and safe resting area for our travelers, thus increasing driver safety, and to also permit our great state and extending our warm hospitality to travelers for whom this may be their first visit to the state. The MDTA and Airus USA entered into a 35-year lease and concession agreement, which expires in 2047. This public-private partnership, or P3, allows the MDTA to leverage its assets with a partner whose expertise is in the hospitality and food service industry, and allows the MDTA to focus on our core strengths, which is transportation. Airus USA established two brand new facilities, the Chesapeake House in Cecil County and Maryland House in Harford County. No tax or toll revenue was used for construction, and the concessionaire made a direct capital investment of $56 million. For sake of time for the presentation, I'm going to be moving through some of the pages very quickly. For the financial and operational review for calendar year 2025, we had two concept closures and a renovation. On page 4, Daly & Co. is no longer listed on the concepts list, as locations at both houses were closed in May of 2025, as Airus USA reviewed several proposals for those sites. In October 2025, Dunkin' Donuts at Maryland House was closed for about 7 weeks for renovations and reopened as Dunkin'. A photo is presented on page 9. Moving to page 13 are the financials, beginning with the fiscal year for 2025. The Travel Plaza posted revenue of $4.39 million, down from $4.71 million, partly due to these two vacancies and the Dunkin' rehab. On page 14, financial data is presented from a calendar year perspective. The MDTA received $4.37 million in calendar year 2025 versus $4.5 million in 2024, or a 3.5% drop. I will also mention that for the most part, we derive 10% of revenue of all sales at the travel plazas. Moving to page 15 is a 5-year snapshot where you'll see calendar year 2025 represented in light blue. Calendar year 2024 is in purple. 23, or the green line, is where we post the highest revenue ever at the travel plazas at $4.79 million. The revenue gap in January and February 2025 versus 24, or the light blue versus the green line respectively, is explained by consistently cold winter in early 2025, where we dealt with ice, freezing rain, and several minor snowfalls, compared to 24, which was unusually mild. The takeaway from this page is threefold, or three takeaways. Number one, the bulk of our revenue occurs between Easter and Labor Day. Number two, there should be tight revenue bands, i.e., there should be no gaps when you look at these lines. And number 3, hopefully each year's line is higher than the prior year. Moving to page 18, the travel plazas are unique because beyond the dollar value of the partnership, the concessionaire also hosts the annual 9/11 ride at the Maryland House. They provide food and water to riders and first responders. This year, we expect about 600 guests, which includes law enforcement from throughout the northeastern United States. It's a total team, MDTA team effort with operations, Northern Region leadership, the Maryland State, MDTA Police, and other Maryland local police departments. We're very grateful for their assistance. This year's ride will be on Saturday, August 22nd, and I invite everyone here to participate. Moving to page 19, we look at items that impacted and will continue to impact the travel plazas. The major development in 2025 was the tear down and renovation of Dunkin' Donuts and reopening as Dunkin'. The past and future challenges of the travel plaza remain the same. The travel plazas are located on an interstate highway, limiting employment to those who have private transportation. The staff turnover is a constant concern as employers recruit labor talent in a tight market. Higher wages and new venues such as the new Perryville Wawa, which could impact the Chesapeake House, is just a few minutes away. Our revenue can also be impacted by economics such as rising fuel prices, which may cause guests to limit their travel. Moving to page 20 is a review of how the MDTA manages the P3 agreement to ensure compliance by Aries USA and its sublessees. The MDTA reviews contract terms with Aries on a continual basis so it's compliant with not just the agreement, but also ever-changing federal, state, and local regulations in areas such as environmental, licensing, and insurance. Financial statements are reviewed against source documentation to validate revenue data. An external accounting firm audits Aries USA's financial statements annually. The MDTA also conducts unannounced inspections of both the travel plazas and its fueling stations. Written reports are presented to Aries USA within 12 hours of inspection, and if necessary, photos of deficiencies are presented. The aim is to be an extra set of eyes to ensure that by compliance, we as partners provide the best service for our guests so that they return. We want our concessionaire to do a great job because when they do great, we do well. We also review key performance indicators as noted and rely on MDTA subject matters to assist us in managing the contract operations and maintenance with colleagues in engineering and construction, operations, and environmental. It is a MDTA total team effort. With that, I thank you for this opportunity and your time today, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Members on the phone, do you have any questions?
I do not. No question. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you
time.
very much.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, moved too fast.
Simon, thank you very much for your presentation. Is there any interaction with the local governments that cause a concern at all with either one of the plazas?
No, we have a relationship, and also our operations folks have a good relationship too, so no issues there.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Najar.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Turning to item 8 on the agenda, we have an MDTA Police Public Security verbal update from Lieutenant Colonel Ron Alford. Lieutenant Colonel, good morning.
Morning, Madam Chair, Authority Board members, Executive Director. For the record, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Ron Alford, and I'm the Acting Chief of the MDTA Police. This morning, I do want to start off with congratulating and recognizing Colonel Joseph Scott, who retired, as you know, 26 years of great work, not just for the police agency, for the citizens of Maryland. With that being said, the agency will continue to move full speed ahead on a lot of things that he did, as well as some of the things that we've done in 2026, and that was accountability, communication, and transparency. So, and you heard about those three. I think we put that out early in the year, but those three words are not just buzzwords for us. We actually live by those. In regards to the accountability piece, that's for everyone. That's the sworn personnel, that's our civilian staff, which is the MCIs, which is the motor carrier inspectors, our dispatchers, our cadets, and even accountability for the officer candidates that's in the academy right now. In regards to the communication piece, that's the internal communication with the police as well as external with our partners, the MDTA operations side, to include all the different modals. And then finally, transparency as it pertains to just being truthful in regards to serving and being on the mission. I am pleased with where the agency is going. To be honest with you, there's a couple of things we need to work on, but that's fine. Our traffic enforcement is phenomenal. Throughout the year, it's trending upward. We've had a 8.2% in second quarter traffic stops in education, as we call it. That was an increase of 1,331 stops just in the second quarter alone. Our year-to-date overall traffic stops are up 8.9% as of the end of last June to this June, which is almost 3,000 traffic stops more than we had at this time last year. Our DUI enforcement, it's good and it's bad. And the reason why I say it's bad is because, unfortunately, we still have too many people that are making the choice to get in the vehicle intoxicated and driving. So that's a huge disappointment. But the good part about that is they're meeting MDTA police officers every time they choose to do so. Our numbers are 49% increase in the second quarter DUI arrests, which, like you said, that is a wow number. Year to date, at the end of June, we have 592 DUI arrests for January 1st to June 30th. Now, quick math, 592 is only 365 days in a year, and we have arrested 592 DUIs in 2026 compared to 420 last year at the end of June of last year, which is a 41% increase. Our Part 1 crimes, which is known as our serious crimes, has decreased by 21.6% from 2025. Most significant is thefts, which were down 32.9%, and our stolen vehicles are down almost 19%. And that just is the testament of not only the officers, but the detectives that are doing active, thorough investigations to close these cases. And I would add, I will toot the horn of the officers, the closure rate is way higher than the national average of closure rates. That's not an easy feat, and we're continue to be above the national average of closing our cases. Things to work on, like I said, are traffic collisions. There's no doubt at the end of 25, we was doing great in regard to downward strides of collisions, and then unfortunately, during this year, that has ticked up 27% in regards to those traffic collisions. And obviously, we know what it is: speeding, aggressive driving, intoxicated. We missed the press conference to slow the fast down, which I thought was cute. But we'll be a part of that going forward in those campaigns in regards to, high visibility, proactive enforcement, and things of that nature. Also, another thing that's kind of ticked up is ag assaults. And those ag assaults is either assaults on police officers and, unfortunately, road rage. And road rage has hit not only Maryland by storm, but the country. However, out of those 4 road rages that we had in the second quarter, we've been able to close 3 of those. One we just closed on Monday with for arrest. We had one not too long ago on 892 on 895, so we're working hard on those. Those are hard to predict, obviously, with road rage, morning, day, and night. But the causes really is people just trying to go nowhere fast, when it comes to road rage. But we're sticking away with those situations there. Switching a little bit, we have Academy class in right now that's going to graduate on September the 16th. So we're looking forward to those men and women to join the MDTA police in our mission. And then we have another class starting a couple of weeks right after that, October 28th of 2026. So we're looking forward to those. We have 63 sworn vacancies and 24 civilian vacancies currently. And the civilian vacancies are professional staff, our dispatchers, and our cadets. We continue to do some great community engagement. So just in the second quarter, so just in 3 months, we've been a part of over 87 events in the 8 counties and the city of Baltimore. That's a lot. 87 events that we've been able to be a part of. We visited 4 colleges throughout those 87 events, and then high schools, middle schools, and elementary. We visited 17 schools, all the way from Cecil, Hartford, down to Charles County. So we take pride in visiting these schools and spreading the MDTA brand. We've supported and we continue to support the BWI Youth Summer Initiative, For the people that don't know about that one, that's something that MAA puts on every single year, which I think is remarkable. They bring kids from Baltimore City into the airport community, the airport space, and for a week, they teach them all aspects of the airport to include the MDTA police, and we'll continue to be a part of that one. We did a lot of bike events for Bike Month throughout MDOT, ICC, the bike trails. So we did a lot of events as it pertains to the Bike Month and biking with a cop, things of the nature. Supported Special Olympics and the torch runs, which we are a major component of that. We have a lieutenant, or a captain, I should say, that's actually the state liaison for Special Olympics for the state. And we visited 2 military bases this quarter. So huge stuff, and we'll continue to do that. Obviously, summer is a busy season, so I suspect the next time I come up, we'll have way more events that we have participated with. Just a report on the assigned vehicle program, which I believe we started almost a month and a half, a year and a month ago last year, which we has boosted morale and recruitment. I know we came to the board requesting this. The board graciously approved it, and then right now we have the receipts to show it's paying off dividends for that program. So I want to publicly thank you for that, and we're seeing the dividends pay off right now. Just recently, it'll be in the next report, but the hard work that was done with our CLIA accreditation, we just got accredited for that, which is huge. As far as our agency, it's rare. I was just told the other day, we're only 1 out of 43 agencies across the country that have what they call a triarch, which means the agency is accredited, our police academy is accredited, and our dispatch is accredited. So that's not something that's just given out. 43, and think about what the 18,000 so police agencies in America, we're one of the 43 that are triarch. So I thought that was great. So all in all, I am pleased where we're going as an agency, where we continue to go for not only for the citizens of Maryland, but for our coworkers. That's something we forget about as our police agents, making sure that our coworkers have a great place to work every single day. So with that, I heed to any questions that you may have of me.
Thank you. Any questions for the Lieutenant Colonel? Yes.
Madam Chair, this is Member Von Paris. I do have a couple of quick questions for you. First of all, I want to commend you for the outstanding work that you do, and I enjoyed your presentation. This pertains to 95, and it's not just on 95, but in areas that we are involved with. I can almost set my watch to motorcycles on 95, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening in that area, in that time, terrorizing people up and down 95. It usually comes from the north and heads south. The flying through, swerving in and out of traffic, probably in some cases causing accidents. That's one thing. The other thing is, that's been going on for years. The other thing is, I'm in the transportation business, and I hear that from our drivers, our CDL drivers that are running up and down 95. The other thing that's happening, and I experience this every single time I'm on 95, are people going 80 miles an hour or more, swerving in and out of traffic. And my wife and I were coming home from Baltimore. We were coming back north, and we had 2 grandchildren in the car. And there was a race, same type of environment, swerving in and out. And right on the express toll lanes, as you were heading north, they crashed right in front of us. And we swerved to get around it. It could have been a fatality. I don't think anyone was killed in that accident, but it very well could have happened. But this is every time I'm on 95, I see this. And I get reports from our drivers that see the same thing. It's not your fault, but I don't see any changes with it, with policing across the board. And if there's anything we could do to help save lives with this, I know we're very concerned about safety as an organization. If there's anything we could do, get together with regionally to deal with this problem. I don't know if we can solve it, but I think with the initiatives that are going in with the Department of Transportation right now about safety, this is a very, very serious problem. And I think it's highlighted since I'm a grandfather and, run around these little kids. So it's just, I had to express that. I feel if I didn't say that, I wouldn't be doing my job.
And that's fair.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's a question, it was a statement, and I
Well,
agree.
I guess, and my question is, how do we, my question, it's a statement, definitely, a very important thing to me, but I'm very cautious, I'm very concerned about safety in my profession. I think it's, safety is number one priority in our business. And I don't know what the solution is, but I would think we have a lot of smart people in policing right here, and also there's got to be a solution to try to attack this problem. Thank you.
So, Member Von Peers, let me just say, I thank you for your comments. I think they are comments that resonate with everybody in this room and everybody that uses our roads in Maryland and beyond Maryland as well. Enforcement is a huge piece of our approach to managing these issues, but it is one tool in the toolkit. And Maryland DOT, in partnership with US DOT and the governor's office, continues to look at a whole suite of options for addressing, mitigating, reducing serious incidents and fatalities on our roadways. Part of that is the new speeding campaign, Slow the Fast Down, that we announced about a month ago to address the demographic that is a major contributor, which tends to be young men driving aggressively. But it's an all the above strategy. It's education, it's outreach, it's roadway designs, it's traffic enforcement, it's partnership with our local communities. We're launching a Safer Maryland coalition that will be led by the Lieutenant Governor in September to work with localities to address these issues. We have pedestrian safety plans in some of the most heavily trafficked corridors to provide safer options. We are making progress. It doesn't feel like it at times, but over the past 2 years, we've had a very significant decline in roadway fatalities, particularly among vulnerable roadway users. We're 17% down year over year at this point this year. I always say we don't take any of this for granted. We are a Vision Zero state, which means our objective is to get to zero fatalities on our roads by 2030. That is a very, very aggressive objective, but we remain committed to it. And everybody needs to be participating in this. It can't be, MDOT or MDTA police imposing our will on the people. We've got to have it from the ground up too, where people recognize that they're not only putting their own safety at risk, but they're jeopardizing the safety of others. So this is a campaign that we will continue. We always look for new tools that may be available to us, and we look to strengthen partnerships and educate. But it is and will always be the top priority for MDOT and our respective agencies. So. And Lieutenant Colonel, I don't know if you want to add to that.
No, I just want to echo, I think it's fair. So you won't see, or you usually don't see a board member so passionate about a law enforcement item, which you are, which I commend that for you saying that in public forum. Similar to Madam Chair, I was on the meeting which we just had 2 weeks ago on the new safety group that we're going to spear up by the Lieutenant Governor. And on there, the same thing, SHA said the same thing. Christian Iser for MVA said the same thing. So it was good to see kind of the raw, emotional conversation that we had when it came to not just speeding, but motorcycles specifically. Obviously, we have 2 fatal motorcycles this year, which we're working on as well. But I think it has to be a robust education. We always talk about the educational model, but it's just a check mark. We have to really be intentional on kind of what we're trying to put out there. And so our motor unit has just started, and we've done it the last 2 years with Maryland State Police, instructing in the actual instruction of people going to get their motorcycle licenses. Show them the reality of when you're on there playing the game, speeding, going through cars. I see the signs, look twice before you actually turn over, before because those motorcycles zip by you, and by the time you see them, it's too late because they already passed you. But we're all involved with that. Obviously, there's a liability piece when it comes to law enforcement of a motorcycle. Most of them are not registered. Most of them, unfortunately, are stolen. No tags on there. So the investigation piece of that is quite in-depth.
Yes, please.
I really do appreciate what you're doing, and I know it's not, it shouldn't all fall on, as the Secretary said, it's got to be bigger than us. I just want to say one more comment, and life experience with this is over a year ago, there was a medical emergency on 95 South at Raphael Road, and the fire department from Kingsville sent out their medic. But they don't send it out there by itself. There needs to be blocking. So they brought the engine to block the medic and the squad from Kingsville to block the engine. So all set up for safety reasons. Somehow, somebody, this is what happened. And what didn't happen, well, let me explain what could have happened. And it was, somebody speeding like that, the same type, flying down the road, went and hit the squad, which is an $850,000 piece of equipment that serves the entire region, local area, put that out of service. But then it hit the fire engine, which is over $1 million piece of equipment. It ran underneath the back of the fire engine, hit it so hard that the ladder on the side of the fire engine went flying, just missed 4 members of the fire department that were rendering aid to the person that they had next to the medic. And it could have been 4 fatalities there. There were 8 members of the fire department that went to the hospital, and this person was not only speeding, but they were impaired. But that engine, that fire engine, which is over $1 million, was out of service for over a year to the community. And that's the least of the problem. It would have been very close. The ladder went flying across nearly off the engine and nearly could have killed several people. One of them were two brothers, and one was a father that were all on that call from the Kingsville Fire Company. So that's what could happen. That would have been a terrible, terrible situation. It's bad enough to have that 2 pieces of equipment that services the community out of service, but I don't want to go into more, but it's not, I don't want you to feel that I'm pointing to MDTA for that, okay, to solve all these problems. But I think there needs leadership. We need leadership, regional leadership and involvement to try to get it done so we don't have the fatalities that could have taken place. That's all I'm saying. Sorry I'm being a little passionate about this, but it was real.
This is, I mean, those are both really good examples of the safety threat that is out on our roads. And I think I had mentioned this before, but if I didn't at a prior meeting, we lost 2 of our own state highway workers in fatal crashes within 5 days of each other in April. And both of them, the matters are still under investigation, but the workers were where they were supposed to be within marked safety zones. One was assisting the police and responding to a crash. Another was at a work site in a marked area. In the worker in the marked area, a police officer had just pulled over someone an hour earlier for failing to move over, consistent with our move over laws. And those accidents happened in a blink of a second, blink of an eye. And we recognize, I mean, this is an epidemic. It is a true threat. It's not unique to Maryland, but it is something, as you point out, that we cannot take our eyes off of. We need to continue to look at tools. We all have a role to play, and we need to hold ourselves accountable.
Thank you.
So I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for you?
Echo what Member Von Persin, you said. I mean, I hear it all the time in Harford County, obviously about 95, and from Happy to Grace, Susquehanna-Hose, as John knows, all the way down to Joppa, as far as Harford County, and then obviously with Kingsville and all involved. I mean, it's a regular comment that comes to us, and I'm glad that Member Von Persin brought it up, and Madam Secretary, and it's a real issue, and thank you.
And I just noticed that you said up north where MSP can go. We just had an initiative, a motorcycle initiative, probably want to say 2 months ago, with 3 agencies on motors, which you don't see, and it's going to come again. I think it's going to be 7 agencies, I think to the tune of 16 to 20 police motorcycles that's going to be out there doing initiatives. You'll see more of that on not only just 95, but 200 and things of that nature. So you'll see that as well.
Yeah, the only other thing I would add is we are also looking to enter into reciprocity agreements with our neighboring states, District of Columbia, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and others, because, you know, a lot of people are moving through our respective borders, so it's not just confined to Maryland. But we will continue to be vigilant and look for additional tools that will help us combat these real safety risks. Anyone else? Thank you so much, Lieutenant Colonel. We will go to agenda item 9, which is the Executive Director's report. So over to Bruce Gardner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, before I start my official remarks, I will just echo that as well. I have one of the new bumper stickers on my state vehicle. I'll make sure you get the slow the fast down for any of you that want that. It really is kind of this message that's got to help resonate, and we need to get out there, particularly in our facilities. The Lieutenant Colonel, I really got to thank the police force for that stepped up activities, because as he referenced, the crashes particularly in the central region have been going up. So a lot of work to do there, but you can see our numbers, at least in the TRI, is there, and we just need to continue to support that. So also just, kudos to the agency for getting that Tri-Arc award. That's just recently happened. I just wanted to highlight that. I'm very proud of the MDTA police for achieving that and getting that certification this year. And it takes a lot of effort, but it's those policies and procedures that we have in place, and the quality of the staff that are able us to do that. So I'm going to shift to a few things of a lighter note, just to talk about some of the events that have happened recently, some of that have made the news, some that haven't. But I think most significantly, just to reiterate the good work that I think the chair and the governor and Jim Harkness and others did on the 20th. We had our congressional delegation and the chair of the House Appropriations Committee and the chair of the Senate Environmental Public Works Committee. Incredibly important funding partners for the Key Bridge. They got out and saw the same things that you all did back in March, and really got to see the project up close. As you all know, and I think the public needs to appreciate, is like there's not much viewing of that area physically that you can do that part of the Patuxent unless you have a boat, or seeing it through a Shipwatchers channel video feed. But that is a lot of activity, those work platforms that are happening, and they got to see that up front. We heard the appreciation in their quotes on the efforts that we're taking for transparency of the project. Thanks to Jim and Brian for going through all those project highlights for you, but we were able to do some more, even more significant ones from previous board meetings on the procurements and everything with those members. So, and our delegation was there to support us with those other members. We had an event, and I think some of you, for the members that are not in the room, there was an attendance sticker that was given out this week to everybody. So I'll get you an attendance sticker for next time. But the team between engineering, communications did it, and the rebuild, the whole Key Bridge rebuild team did a contest with 3 elementary schools. 200 students participated, and we had a winning sticker design that came up. I think I've given it to each of you, and Jim was able to go to Baybrook Elementary school and kind of give that award to the student, attach that to his helmet. So this is the rebuild team's got these attached to their hard hats. So just trying to engage with the community and really make sure that they have opportunities to understand what this project is all about. Wanted to kind of this highlights something that Member Von Paris just mentioned. And last board meeting, we had that dedication of the Bradshaw Road Bridge over I-95 to the Kingsville Volunteer Fire Department. I think we mentioned at the time that the delegates in the district had supported that request, and we have received, Senator Jennings also sent a letter in of his support for that dedication. We hope to have an event in September working with Member Von Paris to do something up there as part of that dedication. But just wanted to acknowledge the support of the entire delegation and Senator Jennings in that. He actually does have experience as a volunteer firefighter as well, so he sees those things up on 95 and these safety initiatives. Also, with safety and just general safety throughout the MDTA, it's important for all of the work that we do, not just on the highway, but we did conduct a safety fair on the 15th of July that our Office of Environmental Safety and Risk Management held at the Fort McHenry Tunnel. So we had a challenging day with a heat index on that, but we did have a good turnout. It was a good, everybody stayed safe in there. Paul Trunch and his team really did a great job organizing that, having other folks in to support that event, and including Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, IWIF, which is Insurance Fund, the State Fire Marshal, and other organizations. But we did awards for that, and the Nice Middleton Bridge team had a first place. The Bay Bridge came in second, and Northern Region third. So just good to get the teams kind of competing on those themes as a reminder that safety, we are serious about safety, as is the MDTA-wide slogan, and that's just one event that highlights that for the entire organization. Wanted to also acknowledge some transitions. So I reached out to you as it was happening, but just wanted to acknowledge that our CAO, Dr. Percy Dangerfield, has accepted a new position. Fortunately, it is a new position within the MDOT world, so he's going to be the Assistant Secretary, working out of headquarters, and I just want to congratulate him and acknowledge that, the over a decade that he spent here with MDTA, and you saw many of the improvements that he has been able to initiate under his watch. And we will miss him, but I talked to him yesterday, and I hope he can attend the next board meeting, so you just have a chance to say hello and, in his new role. But I also just want to acknowledge that, like the police with Lieutenant Colonel Alfred stepping into that acting chief role, Tanya Dorsey is our acting CAO, supported by Amber Harvey, moving into the director. So just the depth that we have in the organization to help us through these transition periods. Just wanted to acknowledge that.
And may I just interject?
Are you going to apologize now?
Well, I am going to apologize and not apologize. No, first of all, Bruce was kind enough to let me talk to Percy about joining us on an acting basis, and Bruce has already talked about the incredible investment that Percy has made and the service that he has provided to MDTA. In the short time that he's been with us at MDOT, he's done the same, and so it's a sacrifice for MDTA. It is a blessing for MDOT that we now have Percy there. And again, Bruce has been wonderful to work with, and we will try to continue to share good people and not take, but also be willing to give. So thank you all.
The conversations we had, obviously you want people to do well, and in this position, he's supporting all of us still. So, it's great to see that happen. I've been the benefit of moving around with the department. We talk about it at all the new employee organization events, that's the benefit of a large agency with many opportunities, is that opportunity to move around. So, just for upcoming events, we are going to be supporting the Secretary of the MDOT team at the MACO conference and meeting with the local governments and making sure we have that direct interaction with the county executives, the commissions, the council members that meet with us, and we will have a Drive Easy MD outreach team there as well, as we do every year. So that's taking place in mid-August. And I also just want to close out with another, more sad transition. Madam Chair, you didn't get a chance to know Member Enzer, but he was a valued member of the MDTA board from 2015 to 2023. And he passed away recently. So just want to acknowledge the service that he provided, not only to the MDTA board, but as a member of the transportation community. He was, his company was Maryland Asphalt, and he was, acknowledged with his extensive knowledge in the industry. So I just wanted to kind of close out by recognizing Member Enzer.
Thank you for doing that. Any comments or questions for the executive director? Okay. We've now reached the closed session portions of our agenda. The closed session is scheduled for the board members and designated staff only. For those persons in this room and on live stream, as soon as we have completed the closed session, we will come back to this room to ratify any actions that might be taken in closed session and to continue with the remainder of the agenda in open session. We appreciate your patience. Per the Maryland Open Meetings Act, the MDTA Board will meet in closed session under General Provisions Article, Section 3-305B10 and 12, to receive an update on deployment of police staff and resources and other security measures, to discuss a pending investigative proceeding involving possible criminal conduct, and under Section 3-305B8, to receive a status update on all litigation currently pending against the MDTA. Members, is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved, Member Cox.
Thank you.
Second, Member Sneed.
Thank you. The time is now 10:05 a.m., and we will now go into closed session. 7:49 a.m., and the board has completed its closed session. There were no actions taken in the closed session that require ratification. At this point, the agenda is complete. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved, Member Cox.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Member Sneed seconds?
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. This now concludes the meeting of the MDTA Board at 10:50 a.m.